Welcome to Section 3 on Information Security Methodology. This section aims to describe internationally used administrative, physical, and technical information security methodologies. I will cover the administrative aspects of information security methodologies, the physical aspects, and the technical aspects. And after which, I will list out examples by countries. First, the administrative aspect. There are many ISMS that focus on administrative aspects. A good example is ISO IEC 27001, which is one of the most commonly used. The ISO IEC 27001, the International ISM standard, is based on BS 7799, which was established by BSI, the British Standards Institute. BS 799 specifies requirements to implement and manage an ISMS and common standards applied to security standards of various organizations and effective security management. Part 1 of BS 7799 describes the required security activities based on the best practices of security activities in organizations. The Part 2, which became the present ISO IEC 27001, suggests the minimum requisites required for ISMS operation and assessment of security activities. The security activities in ISO IEC 27001 consist of 133 controls and 11 domains. You can see them in Table 5. The ISO IEC 27001 adopts the Plan, Do, Check, Act process model, which is applied to structure all ISMS processes. All evidence of the ISMS assessment should be documented. The certification should be externally audited every 6 months, and the whole process should be repeated after 3 years in order to continuously manage the ISMS. Part of the ISMS is gap analysis. Gap analysis refers to the process of measuring the current information security level and establishing the future direction of information security. The result of the gap analysis is derived from the asset owner's answers to the 133 controls and 11 domains. Once deficient areas are identified through the gap analysis, the appropriate controls per area can be established. Risk assessment is divided into the assessment of asset value and assessment of threats and vulnerabilities. Asset value assessment is a quantitative valuation of information assets. The threat assessment provides rating threats to the confidentiality, integrity, and availability of information. Application of controls. Each risk value will be different according to the result of the risk assessment. Decisions are needed to apply the appropriate controls to the differently valued assets. Risks should be divided into acceptable risks and unacceptable risks according to the degree of assurance criteria. Controls will need to be applied to information security assets with unacceptable risks. The controls are applied based on the ISO IEC controls, but it is more effective to apply controls depending on the real state of the organization. Each country has an ISO IEC 27001 certification body. Table 9 lists the number of certificates by country. Next, I will touch on Fema. As the ISO 27001 does not cover extensively International Physical Information Security Management System. Fema 426 is a standard for physical ISMS in the United States, and many countries use it as a methodology, which we will describe here. The Fema 426 provides guidelines on protecting buildings against terrorist attacks. It is directed to the building science community of architects and engineers to reduce physical damage to buildings, related infrastructure, and people caused by terrorist assaults. A related series of guidelines are included. The Fema 427, which is a primer for the design of commercial buildings to mitigate terrorist attacks. The Fema 428, a primer to design safe school projects in case of terrorist attacks. The Fema 429, which is insurance, finance, and regulation primer for terrorism risk management in buildings. Fema 430, which is for architect, and Fema 438 for costs. Next, I will touch on common criteria. Common criteria is a common certification that is used to establish technical standards. It has commercial roots. It was established to address concerns about differences in security levels of IT products from different countries. the international standard was established for the evaluation of products by Canada, France, Germany, the UK, and the US. Specifically, the common criteria presents requirements for the IT security of a product or system under the distinct categories of functional requirements and assurance requirements. The Security Functional Requirement, or the SFR, it specifies all security functions for the target of evaluation, or TOE. Table 7 lists the classes of security functions included in the SFR. Security Assurance Component, or SACs. The common criteria philosophy requires the articulation of security threats and commitments to organization security policy through appropriate and adequate security measures. The measures can be adopted through the measures to be adopted should help identify vulnerabilities, reduce the likelihood of being exploited, and reduce the extent of damage. In the event that a vulnerability is exploited, Table 8 lists the classes included in the SACs. Evaluation method of CC includes two aspects: the evaluation of the protection profile, or PP, and the evaluation of the security target, or ST. The PP describes implementation independent sets of security requirements for categories of TOE and contains a statement of the security problem that a compliant product is intended to solve. It specifies common criteria, functional and assurance requirements, and provides a rationale for the selected functional and assurance components. It is typically created by a consumer or consumer community for IT security requirements. The ST is the basis for the agreement between the TOE developers, consumers, evaluators, and evaluation authorities as to what security the TOE offers and the scope of the evaluation. The audience for an ST may also include those managing, marketing, purchasing, installing, configuring, operating, and using the TOE. An ST contains some implementation-specific information that demonstrates how the product addresses the security requirements. It may refer to one or more PPs. In this case, the ST must fulfill the generic security requirement given in each of these PPs and may define further requirements. Next, the Common Criteria Recognition Agreement or Arrangement, or CCRA, was organized for approving CC certification among nations. It aims to ensure that CC evaluations are performed to consistent standards, eliminate or reduce duplicate evaluations of IT products or protection profiles, and improve global market opportunities for the IT industry by approving certification among member nations. The CCRA consists of 24 member nations, of which 12 are certifying authorizing participants, or CAPs, and 12 are certificate consuming participants, or CCPs. CAPs are producers and evaluation certificates. They are the sponsors of a compliance certification body operating in their own country, and they authorize the certificates issued. A country must be a member of the CCRA as CCP for a minimum period of 2 years before it can apply to become a CAP. CCPs are the consumers of evaluation certificates. Although they may not maintain an IT security evaluation capability, they have an express interest in the use of certified validated products and protection profiles. To become a member of the CCRA, a country should submit a written application to the Management Committee. Next, I shall move on to NIST, the National Institute of Standards and Technology. Based on Fema, the US National Institute of Standards and Technology has developed guidelines and standards for strengthening the security of information and information systems that federal institutes are able to use. The guidelines and standards aim to 1. Provide specification for minimum security requirements by developing standards that can be used for categorization of federal information and information systems. 2. Enable security categorization of information and information systems. 3. Select and specify security controls for information systems supporting the executive agencies of the federal government. And lastly, verify the efficiency and effectiveness of security controls on vulnerabilities. Guidelines related to FISMA are published as special publications and Federal Information Processing Standards publications. There are 2 series of special publications, the 500 series for information technology and the 800 series for computer security. Figure 10 shows a process that US government agencies follow to establish their security plans based on this standard. As mentioned earlier, I will now cover the case studies by countries. In the United Kingdom, the BASI analyzes the security activities of organizations in the UK, and gives BS 7799 certification, which has now been developed to ISO 27001 and ISO 27002. Figure 11 shows the procedure that is followed. Next, in Japan, ISMS version 2.0 of the Japan Information Processing Development Corporation was operated in Japan since the year April 2002. However, it has been replaced recently by BS 7799, Part 2, 202. The rate of applications for certification has increased since the central government has promoted information security planning. Local governments have provided organizations with grant money to obtain ISMS certification. However, ISMS version 2.0 merely emphasizes the administrative aspect and does not include the technical aspect of information security. Moreover, most organizations are interested only in being certified and not necessarily in improving their information security activities. Figure 12 shows the ISMS certification system in Japan. Now I shall move on to the Republic of Korea. ISMS certification by the Korean Information Security Agency, or KISA, developed mainly by MIC, was used while ISO IEC 27001 was being disseminated by BSI Korea. KISA's ISMS is a synthetic management system that includes a technical physical security plan. Thus, the KISA ISMS certification system strengthens the technical information security area that is insufficient in ISO IEC 27001. In particular, adoption of the security procedure as a requirement of the certification strengthens the technical examination. Figure 13 shows the certification process of KISA ISMS. Next, I shall move on to Germany. Germany's BSI is the National Agency for Information Security. It provides IT security services to the German government, cities, organizations, and individuals in Germany. BSI has established the IT baseline protection qualification based on the international standard ISO Guide 25 and the European standard EN 45001, which was acknowledged by the European Committee for IT Testing and Certification. The certification types include IT Baseline Protection Certificate, Self-Declared IT Baseline Protection Higher Level, and Self-Declared IT Baseline Protection Entry Level. In addition, the Baseline Protection Manual, or BMP in short, and Self-Manual BSI Standard Series 100 have been developed. The method includes BSI Standard 100-1 ISMS, BSI Standard 100-2 BMP Methodology, and BSI Standard 100-3 Risk Analysis. Now, Table 9 lists all the other existing ISMS certifications that are in use. And with that, I have completed this session. I have covered the information security methodology, the aspects on administrative, physical, technical, as well as the examples by country. Thank you.